Welcome to the show. I'm sick.
And I might be getting it.
Probably shouldn't have done that let me spit in your mouth contest that we did before this, but
Hey, we do it every week.
I know.
It's tradition.
I always win. This is Avant-Garbage, where two guys trashes another guy's podcast. In reality, I'm Barry.
I'm Jimmy.
And sometimes we talk about a new movie. But today, talking about
Movie news.
we have our you know. So I haven't talked, I swear, I wasn't making a joke. I haven't talked to a person in person since Wednesday, and it is currently Sunday.
I've talked to, I would say, too many people last night.
Where were you?
Somebody's birthday party.
Was there a piñata involved?
No.
Wow. Remember the piñata at my party?
Yeah. Your mom filled it with 30 shots, like the little bottles.
Liquor shooters, yeah.
I was totally terrified when I saw them. I was like, "There's gonna be a mess on the floor."
Yeah, and I was already, pretty inebriated, I would say, and then they handed me that like baton, like I was fucking Daredevil. And I remember when someone, like after my first hit, someone said, "He's not gonna be able to do it," and I just remember in my head being like, watch me. Like I also agreed I wasn't gonna be able to do it, but then when I heard someone say it, because like I was blindfolded and that was all I heard, I was like, oh yeah. Then you better be ready for me to do it, because that felt like a challenge at that point. But whatever, I did do it.
Yeah.
To my own peril. So today we have 3 bits of movie news for you. We're going to start out with the big news item of the week, which is, of course, our classic segment of something buying something else. And then we're going to talk about, we got some Spider-Man stuff, and then we got a slasher flick that's kind of piqued our interest a little bit. So I want to start out with this. As it stands,
Yes.
Currently Paramount owns this list of intellectual property: Star Trek, Mission Impossible, Transformers, Quiet Place, Top Gun, Sonic the Hedgehog, TMNT, Indiana Jones, The Godfather, Paranormal Activity, and SpongeBob. Warner Brothers currently owns the DC Universe, Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, Mad Max, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Conjuring, It, etc. So my question for you is, when these two companies become a monopoly, which crossover would you like to see most? And why is the answer SpongeBob Mad Max?
It'd be so funny. Because SpongeBob doesn't have his driver's license.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it.
Just Miss Puff next to him the whole time. Just like, what the fuck is going on?
I think he skinned Miss Puff and uses it as the spikes around the outside of his car.
I want to see one of the goons die by Miss Puff.
You say goon?
Okay, well, Barry just learned what goon meant.
That's true. And edging, actually. But any of those crossovers you do want to see? You want to see like a Paw Patrol Joker movie?
I would like to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with The Hobbit.
Okay. What would that be like?
I don't know. I haven't seen The Hobbit. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Something Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, there has to be a comic book thing also.
They could go to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh.
Like they could go in their dreams or something. That might be fun. There is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic, The Last Ronin, that was supposed to get an adaptation. It was actually going to be a movie and a video game, but I think they both got canceled.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know.
Michelangelo is dreaming of cheese pizza and the cheese is falling down, and then Freddy Krueger's face comes out of the cheese.
Oh.
Because his face looks like
Yeah.
cheese.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
And he just eats them.
Yeah. That's how they win.
That could be good. I can actually really imagine that. Anyway, if I haven't buried the lead enough, the big news story of this week is Netflix seems to have backed out of the purchasing of Warner Brothers that we reported on before, and the current frontrunner in that is now Paramount. So let me kind of go over the deal here, because I think we can split this up into 3 buckets. We have the finances bucket, the politics bucket, and then the creative bucket, which is really what we care about, I think, which has some ramifications from the financials and the politics. So here's how the story kind of goes. Netflix had Sarandos, right? Ted Sarandos, I think.
I don't know who.
He met with Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Trump administration about purchasing Paramount because it's such a big merger that they need to get approval from the Justice Department. They were going to pay $27.75 per share, and they were only going to take the movie stuff. So things like CNN were not going to be involved at all.
Okay.
After that, they were basically told that it's not going to happen by the Trump administration, and that Paramount offered $31 per share for everything, including CNN and all its other properties. And Netflix came out in a statement and said it's no longer financially attractive, is the quote that they put out. Basically, the deal Paramount is offering, as I mentioned, $31 per share. It's $100 billion with ticking fees, meaning that every quarter that the deal doesn't go through, they have to pay additional money, which kind of lets you know that they are using their in with this current political establishment to say, like, we can get a deal. We know we're going to get approval from the GOP, and we can do it quickly. So it's possible to do this kind of thing in 15 days, I guess, was like the quickest possible fast track that they talked about.
Damn,
that seems crazy, but they did give themselves a financial cutoff. I think it's till September, where there's this huge ticking fee hits where like they have to pay them like a certain billions of dollars.
Billions?
Yeah, billions if they don't get the deal done by then. And it'll put Paramount $78 billion in debt. And a lot of this funding, of course, it's coming from the Ellison family, who is extremely rich after developing Oracle. They now basically own TikTok.
Yep.
So
Larry Ellison also came out in the Epstein files.
Terrific. And then and he's the older one, right?
Yeah,
David Ellison developed Skydance and has a lot of ties with that. But and you know, now they own CBS and company. But a lot of this is also getting funded by Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
Yeah.
Which is another thing to think about. So, I mean, I think really what they're trying to do is win the streaming wars, because Paramount wasn't really in the conversation. I guess HBO Max, even though it's my favorite streaming service, is only accounting for like 2% of streaming or something like that.
Really?
Something
That's
crazy.
The best one.
I know. It has the best films, but I don't think most people look at streaming that way.
Yeah.
So I think this goal here is to make the Ellison family part of the streaming wars conversation, put Paramount and HBO Max on the map there. I that might all get collapsed into Paramount. I'm not really sure. And then they could compete with the likes of Disney Plus and Netflix.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it makes sense for them. But it doesn't really make that sense for Netflix to go through with this. In fact, when they pulled out of the deal, their stock went up because it shows that they kind of trust their own properties as is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. So that's kind of where we are on the finances thing.
Well, I guess it goes into politics, but like, at what point does it become a monopoly? At what point do they break antitrust laws?
Yeah, I guess that does get into the politics, because the answer is, for this administration, it doesn't. But if they were combined, they would be accounting for 25% of all movies being made. So, and this is almost $25 billion more than the Disney Fox merger, which also led to this huge decrease in the amount of projects they were making. Yeah. And there are these promises, like I was going to talk about this when we get to the creative side, but they did promise, if they make this purchase, to let out 30 theatrical releases per year. Okay. What I think is interesting, and we'll get to this more, if Netflix purchased them, my concern was what it would do to theaters.
Yeah.
My concern would be how the stories are getting consumed. Now my concern is the stories themselves, which I think we should talk about the politics thing. So Ellison himself, both Ellisons really, but really the older one, Larry Ellison, is not only cozy with small children, but is also cozy with Trump and the Trump administration. In fact, David Ellison was Lindsey Graham's guest at the State of the Union.
Ooh.
So he's he's actively lobbying to get this deal to go through. And the GOP is basically posturing that they want Paramount to have it, not Netflix. And there's these interesting quotes from Trump saying, like, yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at it because, of course. But he's also mentioned things about how like evil and terrible CNN is, and they need someone to shake up that environment. And like the Netflix deal didn't include that.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So you can see how the writing's a little bit on the wall there. And then I guess the politics thing I want to talk about that I think is interesting, that I think you'll have some ideas about, is Barry Weiss, who now runs CBS, has clearly been making a lot of editorial decisions that are very biased. Yes. They're pretty prejudicial. I would say Colbert going off air is one that's a little bit implicit, but Colbert had to take off a James Tellerico interview recently because they said it didn't meet with... She basically referenced the fairness doctrine, which I taught media studies for years. Yeah, it's not a law that's in effect anymore. So to reference the fairness doctrine is just a lie. Like, no one does the fairness doctrine. If we wanted to go back to the fairness doctrine, sure. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure its abolishment was a right-wing thing for like freedom and censorship purposes or what have you. And like, that's just a made-up reason to not let a certain, politician in Texas get their word out. Even though most people watch Colbert on YouTube anyway. And then that's also like Melissa Barrera, who was fired from Scream 7 for having some takes about Israel and Palestine. Yeah. And now they're doing things like at Paramount, they're hiring Max Landis, who is, he made like Chronicle. You ever see Chronicle?
Oh, yeah.
Like he's been a movie producer for a while and creator, but he was wrapped up in like the Me Too movement. There's a ton of allegations. He's even said himself that he's a toxic boyfriend. He was just commissioned to write the new G.I. Joe movie. Brett Ratner's back in the mix, who we know is Epstein Files, Me Too'd as well. Yeah. He's making Rush Hour 4, which is a movie that Trump literally said in a speech, like, they need to make. Like, that's the only reason this is happening. And he just made Melania. Like, yeah. We clearly have these cultural shifts happening in CBS where the Trump administration has their paws all over it. And now this exact same thing seems like it could be happening with the Warner Brothers properties, which worries me for movies like Sinners or One Battle After Another that clearly have a lot of spin on the ball because they're trying to say something. Would movies like those even be made, or a Superman movie that's ostensibly an immigrant story that has a lot of clear allusions to genocide overseas? Like, would movies like that even be coming down the pipeline if this is controlled by the Ellison family? I don't know. And it actually like kind of troubles me how much they've put their thumb on the scale already, I guess. Yeah.
The only thing that was giving me hope was Ryan Coogler's deal with Sinners and like maintaining those rights. If Paramount buys out their share of Sinners, whatever creative rights they own, then like, is that going to be the new model, or are they trying to squash that entirely and just try to collect all the property that they can?
Yeah, that is the exact question. And a lot of the discourse, and I'm getting this is mostly coming from Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, but a lot of the discourse around it, like the punditry, is very concerned about what's going to now happen to James Gunn's DCU, what's going to happen with those kind of properties that would be considered woke by people with half a brain cell. But like, I think there's a lot of autonomy in creatives. Like, creators have a lot of autonomy. Yeah. And I think like if they see, oh, this is fucked, they'll just go somewhere else. So maybe best case scenario is this deal, because then we don't have to worry about the theater problem. Yeah. And then all the creatives are like, well, I don't want to fucking work with you. Or like, I don't want to make fucking Sinners for white people or whatever,
Well, have you seen the new news?
Lady Ballers 2? No, I don't know. What's the new news?
The new news is that the Daily Wire wants to make a movie like Sinners with Zachary Levi and Jonathan Majors.
See, is that like what we're going to be seeing? Is just like a list of like produced by Harvey Weinstein, directed by
Woody Allen,
starring Kevin Spacey. Like, is that where we're headed? Yeah. Could be. And that's why I brought up from the Hollywood Reporter that Brett Ratner story and the Max Landis thing. The interesting thing too about the Max Landis story, he's making G.I. Joe, and at the same time they commissioned the guy from Righteous Gemstones, Danny McBride, to write a G.I. Joe script. And some people are saying that they're then going to combine them, which is like, you clearly know nothing about making movies. Or they mentioned that it's two separate projects, which is like, okay, so then are we going to get like weird right-wing and weird left-wing military propaganda movie? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it doesn't bode well, I think, with the way this is headed. But like I said, maybe the creators will be like, fuck you. And then it will actually bury them in $80 billion of debt, which I think is bad. Financially, I think that's a bad financial move if I had to guess. But who knows?
Then also with these properties that they're going to own, I mean, I know a lot of directors have contracts, like multi-movie contracts with production companies like this. Do you think those people are going to continue to work under that contract?
I don't know. And then like,
are they going to produce shit movies because they're just going to like pump out whatever?
Yep. Or are you already under contract for certain things and like you have to make a shit movie now until you can move on to something else that you actually want to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is definitely alarming, but I think like the pretty bad spirited attempts to make editorial decisions at CBS, I think that's the way CNN will then inevitably go, and I could definitely see trickle into their blockbuster filmmaking too. So it's definitely concerning.
Very concerning. The only bad Barry I know. Barry Weiss.
Thanks. Thank you so much for saying that. So that's actually everything I have for Paramount buying Warner Brothers. We're gonna move on now to our second bit of news, which is about we have some Spider-Man news.
Yes.
So another thing that kind of happened with these big companies is in a recent I don't know. Oh, he was on a podcast, the guy who runs like Sony Marvel Spider-Man spin-off adjacent movies, which we lovingly call the SPASMM. Do you remember what it stands for? I don't even remember. Sony Pictures and Spider-Man.
It's
Sony Pictures adjacent Spider-Man movies. And I think there's 2 M's. Spider-Man movies. So Sony Pictures adjacent Spider-Man movies. That's our thing, all right? No one else gets that. They are rebooting that. So they were in an interview, he was just asked about it, what the plan is with all those. Like my cat is walking over the keyboard. Great. We are still recording. He was asked what's the plan with like a Craven, a Madam Web, Morbius and stuff, and he was like, we're just rebooting it all. So the move now, I think, is they're focusing on Spider-Man, like literally Spider-Man adjacent Spider-Men now. So like the Spider Noir show on Prime, I think is their first part of their rebrand. There were talks of doing a Hobie movie,
cool.
Spider-Punk character from Across the Spider-Verse. And who knows? Maybe they'll just kind of go down that road. I think they were also looking into a Gwen Stacy Spider-Gwen, who I think is called Ghost Spider now in the comics, which is not a good name. But
Spider-Pork?
We could do Porky Spider. What was his name? Spider-Ham. But we'll see. I mean, it might be good to start getting some stories out with these guys, because I actually just rewatched Across the Spider-Verse last night, and at the end, they're all there, right? The next step is the entire team from the second movie and from the first movie coming together to help Miles. So we got to get John Mulaney and Nick Cage and all them back.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad they're not doing the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
whatever.
Like this is what they should have been doing 10 years ago, I guess, is the reason why I'm bringing it up. But really the reason why I want to bring up Spider-Man is Nexus Point News has some confirmations now about who some of the characters are in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Because even though it's in July, or maybe even June, we do not have any information about this film. So Tramell Tillman, the guy from Severance and Mission Impossible, he is confirmed pretty much to be playing William Metzger. William Metzger is an X-Men character. He's going to be playing an anti-mutant leader of damage control. And he was signed in for a multi-picture deal, so this isn't his only thing. So we have a character who hates mutants, who will probably be chasing down Spider-Man, presumably. And that will probably in some way lead into the X-Men getting folded in Doomsday and then Secret Wars.
Wow, they're really trying to fast track this.
Yeah, so I think that makes sense to like plant some X-Men seeds. And then speaking of that, we're pretty sure Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey.
Jean Grey?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Phoenix, aka... You know her actual superhero name? I kind of like... just got more into X-Men recently.
No.
It's just Marvel Girl.
Okay.
Yeah. But I guess she is somehow already in cahoots with Punisher in some way. That's how she's going to be introduced in the film.
Oh.
And it just makes me think that there's going to be some sort of storyline about protecting mutants or keeping mutants safe that Spider-Man somehow gets, wrapped into.
So she's going to be Jean Grey. And then in Doomsday, they're bringing back
Who I don't know.
Phoenix?
Yeah, I don't know. There's the two,
Yeah.
right?
Well, okay.
So I don't know. It seems weird that they're introducing the new like cohort of X-Men at the same time as bringing back two previous cohorts of X-Men.
Yeah.
But
unless you're planning on killing off those X-Men,
I think they are,
right?
right? And then they all fight on Battle World and Secret Wars or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
However, I think this also kind of shapes some semblance of a story because Jean Grey is a telepath and no one knows who Peter Parker is. Right? So I think I could see why an alliance would be built there and how you then work Ned Leeds and MJ back into the story.
Yeah.
She is able to manipulate and control minds in various ways. So somehow maybe restore their memory of Peter or something.
That's okay.
Right? Okay. So
like
that's
that
me
theory.
reading between the lines a little bit, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay. How are they going to plant the seed that her and Punisher are working together? Just going to be introduced like...
I don't know. Maybe... When's the Punisher short coming out?
They're creating so much content, but not telling us anything about that.
Okay. Actually, I have kind of a timeline.
Okay.
Late March is the new Daredevil season, which is very exciting. That's this month.
Wow.
And then it said summer 2026 for the Punisher special. I have a feeling it's going to be after Spider-Man. Wherever we leave him off would be my guess. But I'm not sure. But all those threads are going to somehow connect in Spider-Man. And then it'll get X-Man-y and get onto the Avengers films, I guess.
I'm looking on Wikipedia to see the timeline, but for
don't-
Phase 6, but they don't have
They
any.
don't really have it, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. That's all I got in Spider-Man. Do you have anything to add to the Spidey conversation?
No, I'm just excited for the movie. I don't really know anything about it.
That's what's kind of awesome. But every time we have a new theory like this, I feel like it gets disputed a couple weeks later. But we are closing in, I think, on what this story will be. We also got some concept art came out. Well, it's like actual art for some of the villains like Boomerang, Tarantula, and Scorpion. So we're starting to see the aesthetic. So things are shaping up.
Oh, I did see a picture of Jackie Chan and his stuntmen on set for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because they worked with Dustin Daniel Cretton on Shang-Chi.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know how involved Jackie Chan is, but his stuntmen
like the choreographers for him are working on this film.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, and I think that could just be really cool if they blend Spider-Man's kind of acrobatics with that. That could be something special.
Yeah.
We'll see. We don't know anything, or nor have we seen anything other than how cool the suit looks.
Yeah.
All right. What's the third bit? Bring it home.
The third bit, which Barry brought to my attention, is that there's going to be a new interactive horror movie theatrical release.
Okay. I don't know. That is the extent of all I know. So tell me more.
It's called Slay Day. It's going to be released in the fall of this year, 2026.
Do we have a date, or do we just know it's this fall?
We just know it's
like
this fall.
Halloween time, probably, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the directorial debut of John David Buxton.
Okay.
He has been an editor on a bunch of TV shows, kind of like mid TV shows.
Sure.
But I think it's really interesting that he is an editor because this interactive film is kind of like a choose your own adventure. When you go in, you are going to vote as an audience on the outcome of a specific thing.
It's like Kahoot.
Yeah. And then that'll inform like how the rest of the story's going to go. So if you want somebody to die, you hit the
Oh, interesting.
You know?
Okay, so it's more about like, is it choices that the different survivors or whatever, or the people are going to make?
Yeah, so it's like Black Mirror's Bandersnatch.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in a theater, you can just use your phone and it'll take the average of the votes.
Okay, so it pulls the room and then goes from there.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it is on your phone.
Yeah.
Do you scan a QR code or something at the beginning, presumably, or maybe an app or something?
It doesn't say, so.
Okay.
That'd be weird. But because he's an editor, that'd be pretty cool because then, you're trying to tie in all these different possible storylines.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see how the technology looks. Like, is it an app? Is it a QR code? Is it geo-located somehow?
Yeah.
So like you're only affecting your screen and not the screening across the street or whatever.
Like a room code or something.
Or a room code, or I'm interested to see how that works logistically. Also, that's not to mention that we don't really have projectionists anymore.
Yeah.
So who is monitoring that everything is going? Maybe it doesn't need that. Maybe we're just beyond that point. But it does feel like...
I think a lot of movies are doing digital.
Yeah, I guess it's just at the beginning of the movie you somehow log into something. It'll just be interesting. I'm curious how that's going to look.
I went to Movies 10 one time, and the movie it was for Smile.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the movie shut down, but when it shut down, you could just see they were just playing it off of Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just they had I think the theater had some kind of deal.
Yeah.
To get it before it hit streaming, but they were just playing it from a platform.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They probably have their own weird streamer that they use, but yeah.
So yeah, it seems like it's all digital, so this will be perfect for it. But not a lot of people of note.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't surprise me that it's a horror movie, just with the way there's been this horror renaissance. The movies do well typically. It's kind of one of the last things that people often go out and see rather than wait till it comes home. And if it comes out at the right time, late in September into October, I could see it doing well.
Yeah. It should be pretty cool though, because it's harkening back to the 80s slasher movies. It takes place in 1987. Friday the 13th, small town. A serial killer's body gets exhumed.
Okay.
And that kind of sparks everything.
Fun. Okay, cool. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Nice. What's it called? Slay Day?
Slay Day.
All right.
So
we'll definitely be covering that.
Yeah. It'll also hit streaming too. They have a streaming deal already.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That'll do pretty well too. I didn't do Bandersnatch, did you?
I did.
Was it good?
It was fine, but I think a horror movie is really where it would be at.
Yeah.
They said horror movies have always been interactive. The part that makes horror movies great is audiences reacting together.
It's all of us yelling, no, 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 don't go in there. And now we can all just look at our phones and click, no, 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 don't go in there. Or that bitch should die. Go in there.
Now we can see okay, are the writers making bad decisions or
or do we actually just want... Yeah, that's true. Puts the onus on us.
Yeah. Don't go in there. Everybody votes to go in there anyways. Because we're curious.
We are curious by nature. Okay, cool. Sorry I'm a little low energy. I'm still getting my strength back, but I think we got through all the news, and it's not all bad.
It's not all bad, but the big thing is really bad.
Pretty bad. and the thing even bigger than that, as far as the wars, also bad, but not in our purview, so it's fine. We can just pretend it doesn't exist. All right, that's all I got. Love you.
Love you.
And
music.